thank God, came in and said, yes, I'll have a conversation with you. This all sounds interesting. Um, Prabhath is somebody who I've worked with and known since as early as 2008, I think, 2009. He was at the time based out of Trichur and Kerala, and then the University of Pondicherry, which is a lovely little, was a French colony in Tamil Nadu on the eastern coast facing the Bay of Bengal. And he was a professor there doing his PhD. But his work and his body of knowledge is truly embodied and experiential, from Kudiyattam and Kalari and many other Indian art forms, to then going off and looking at Butoh and No, and interacting with the Japanese milieu of traditional art forms. Butoh is contemporary. The definitions start to sort of explode in my head, because Prabhath has just taken from all of them, and then the way he can teach in a class has always been absolutely fascinating to me. And always teach towards an investigation. He asked me to think of the most stressful moment I had had with him, where he turned to me at the second intensive drama school program that we had, and said, "I'm going to get everybody naked." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yep." And they're going to do it on their own. I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was being an organizer and a curator and a concerned person about the general, like how this would come across. And sure enough, that evening, or a few at the end of that workshop, we had 24 actors running across stage, in various stages of disvestment, all building up to sort of absolutely running across stage nude, on an exploration of what it is to just divest and then just be. And they all came out euphoric, and I have no idea what happened, why it happened, how we got there. But by the end of it, everyone was smiling and happy, and Prabhath was sitting back going, that was interesting. And this has been my experience of Prabhath throughout, and I'm glad he left for that last bit. And just before the talk, I asked him why the name of this farm. Now he lives in Japan. He's doing theater and farming and community building all as an integrated practice. And he's named the farm Chance Meeting Anandam. And chance meeting comes from the word yen, which is not the same currency note, another same pronunciation, different word, yen, and it means chance meeting. And it basically, the premise is that there is no fate meeting. Even your meeting with your mother and father is chance. Even your meeting with people you were born into is chance. It's all chance. And Anandam comes from Sanskrit and Hindi and Malayalam, which is basically a happiness. It's more than happiness. It's an inner contentment. Anandam means a fulfillment, contentment, stroke happiness. And so Chance Meeting Anandam is the name of his farm. And I think it's really apt that we start there, because Prabhath, Chance Meeting is the chaosmos. And that's what I think. So Prabhath, without further ado, everyone, I suggest you put him on full screen and pin him so you can see him in clarity, because he's taking us on a tour. Prabhath, let's go, all you.
Yeah, everyone, thank you so much. I'm just walking to my field. First of all, I thought that as a farmer, like I should show you my field, which is ready to harvest now. So yeah, here I am. Yeah, just sitting. So, 1 second. So this is my wheat field. This is the wheat which is now ready to harvest. This is our place. And after harvesting wheat, we are going to put the rice within maybe 3 days. So it's like first operation. And then, yeah, I hope you can see, because I'm not able to see any of you.
We can see. Yeah. It's clear. Thank you.
And then, yeah, this is another farm. Like, basically, this is our place, like a very rural village of Japan, where we live near mountain and forest. So yeah, this is Growing. Yeah, maybe next week we will be harvesting this. And yeah, our idea of farming is from seed to seed. So this is we are making seeds. So we don't buy seeds from the shop. So we make seeds and we usually use that. So this is the seed of carrot, and this is the seed of cabbage, and then yeah. So it's go like this. And these are some rice varieties I got from Tamil Nadu and Indian rice varieties, which is maybe 2000 years old local rice varieties. So, yeah. So just very fast I'll show and then I'll get into talk. This is our like water supply. It's just a natural water coming here. So that water, not for drinking, but for the farm. We can also drink if we want. So these are some fruit trees. This is kiwi coming. Maybe you can see, yeah. And this is our chicken farm. We have too many chickens. So this is also like designed as an open air theater, and we sometimes perform. So this is a kind of small performance area. So with background of chicken music. So yeah. And these are new planted sweet potatoes and tomatoes, cucumber, and all.
And Prabhat, this is not just a farm; it's a theater farm, right?
This is just a theater farm. This place now, like last year, like after harvesting, this place become our performance space. So yeah, open air theater. This I have sent you some photographs of people playing drum and all. So usually it's an open air theater, but yeah, we also planned things as so. Yeah, I'll talk to you that why why. Yeah.
Come, let's go back inside and start the conversation.
Yeah. And then yeah, let's go like this. And then some special breed. Yeah. He's known as Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. Yeah. Bob. And his wife is on top.
Oh man. Awesome.
You can see. Bob. And his second wife is sitting on hatching. Yeah. We have to get the children. So this is mother.
Hi, I know you, Madhav. I met you when you were much smaller.
Yeah, coming back to theater. This is our main theater where we practice. Also, it's a Kalari. So every day we practice Kalari here. And then when we do theater, it's like
so Kalari is for everyone here. Kalari is a martial art from Kerala, and Prabhat has been a long time practitioner. and it literally means gymnasium. Is that the correct translation? The Kalari is a gymnasium?
Yeah, Kalari is an institution.
Also, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, you can also say gymnasium.
Okay.
So, everything. So
Where
yeah,
will we sit and talk, Prabhath?
I'll come to my kitchen area
Yes.
because I want cooking.
So if you guys can go off your pins and go back to speaker view or gallery view, you'll see Prabhath over there.
Thank you. So I think you you have seen like it's like a cube running through our farm. So basically we thought to make a farm. It was like when I was a teacher in Pondicherry University teaching performing arts, and I got a chance to do a play called Aknia in a village of farmers in Pondicherry. The main idea behind that was that some of my students coming from that area and his friends and his relatives are farmers, and then maybe you may know in India in 2010 most suicide area in India is that village. So someone from the village came to me and asked me that what you can do with theater to that place, so that we can somehow escape from suicide. It was like young people. So we decided to do a play which can give some kind of hope to the people. So that's how it came called Aknia. Aknia is an old theater form, not very old, but maybe now you won't be able to see that. It's like vanished. There will be maybe all over India, I don't know, but there will be a man in cycle rotating maybe 10 days not coming out from the cycle. He sit in cycle and rotate, and every evening there will be performances, different kind of performances like dance and magic and storytelling and skit and all kind of thing. So yeah, this was not that psychology, but this was a story about a group of people who do psychologia and a play on that. But we trained artists, like almost 15 people, trained actors, go to that village as gypsies, like not as actors or not as so we started coming from different area and then put tent and then invite people from the village and started making this performance. It was like almost 1.5 months training in the sense making the theater, and then 10 days performance. So in that time I got a chance to understand farmers more deeply, farming more deeply. So I almost I become farmer because I was working with them every day. From morning we work with farmers, and then we invite the farmers to our show, and then they work with us. That was the kind of exchange program. So I learned farming from them basically. So they made me farmers. Now they have their own theater. So they are telling I made them theater person. You know, so it was a kind of exchange happened. So after that, I thought that, yeah, at least we should make our own food to eat, not all food. So we started making some food like kind of, vegetables and all. Then when we shifted to Japan, we got a chance to, settle in this area. We were in Tokyo for 1.5 months, but then we shifted to this area, and then, dramatically things has changed, because we came to an area where most people are farmers, and maybe organic farmers. They do natural farming. So yeah, and then I also learned farming from one of my friend here who is doing farming for a long time. Then slowly we established this. We got this house, which was a house of a farmer who died 5 years back, and there was no one. It was a kind of abandoned house. His daughter is there, but then we met the daughter, and then she said, "You can take it." So we got everything, like we got the all tools, everything free. So you see this, the Kalari was his garage where he put his machines, and also we just shifted, it's cleaned and made into a theater space. And then this space, last year, after pandemic, I made this place. It's a small kitchen where every Sunday we do small performances here. We cook for people from the vegetables and rice from our farm, and then cook for the people, and then from different area people come, and then they stay here, and then they eat, and then they discuss things, and then they sometimes perform. We also perform. So, and then sometimes they also cook. So this is kind of a sharing kitchen idea. So we share things with people. They also share with us. So yeah, that maybe like in the time of chaosmos, maybe in the time of pandemic, it was a big issue even here. But we never stopped this performance practice. Everyone come with mask and all, and then with all safety thing, and then but still people we have farm, so that people take the food and go out and then sit in different area and eat, and then come back, and then also do kind of mostly singing, music, dance kind of performances. And then maybe last month we have done a complete theater form. After 3 years, we have molded a theater form called Hope. All actors are farmers from here. They are not so-called professional actors, but everyone is kind of artist who is from different area of art, like musicians, singers, and painters, and multimedia artists. But they all like teachers. They stopped, not stopped. They started doing farming as part of their life. So they do that job also, but at the same time they also do farming. So for us, this farming is like, now I can tell you that I don't go for any other job, basically, because we are doing work in our farm. but I'm also not selling for money any of the vegetables. But we cook and then we serve. And when people come to see the performance, they pay us usually. So that's the only earning for us. But we very less things we buy from outside. Very less, like for example, maybe salt, sugar kind of things, or fish, or or very less things to buy, so that it's not very difficult for us to live. So that's the primary thing that we thought farming should be continued. And in other way, as a theater artist, I always inquire about the idea of nature and energy and body and balance and gravity. So this was kind of inquiries I've been researching and studying and teaching for a long time. So this is a place where we started exploring the connection between body and nature, and the connection between the weather and the earth and the energy. How does the energy travel in the body? How does it, how balancing balance, how from stillness to movement, how like I can tell you, like when one of my teacher of drama, Dr. Vaida was present, when he was teaching us about plot, he always he tell a story about putting a seed. So you put a seed, and then when the seed open up and come, so two kind of plot, like someone put a seed of kind of cucumber, someone put a seed of a big tree, teak wood. So, and then cucumber seed came very fast. So he was very happy, and then he was two friends. But then this teak wood seed was not coming for a long time. Then this man was waiting, and then slowly he saw one day it's coming. But in that time, this cucumber is already ready to eat, and then they share each other. But then after 2-3 months, cucumber died. But then the teak wood came, become big, and become a big tree. So when he was sitting as a student, it was interesting to learn, the plot of a big play and the plot of maybe a small kind of play, like how you put the seed and how does it work out. So when I become a farmer, I really experience, I learn again, or I relearn again the teachings of my, different kind of teachers. Like you can see the photo of my Kalari teacher over there, the grandmaster. So one day he asked me that he know that I do theater. So he asked me that, why do you learn Kalari? Tell me, because you are going to be an actor or something. You are not going to be a warrior anymore. So, all the time when he was learning in the time of independence, freedom fight. So there was a proper idea of why do he learn. But now, like mostly the people who learn Kalari, who practice Kalari, become dancers or performing artists. So he asked me, tell me why you learn. But I had some answers. I can tell you that I was thinking at that time, yeah, my body will be flexible. Maybe my mind will be flexible. Maybe, I can react and towards any action. I can be spontaneous. I can be balanced. So, but I was a bit afraid to tell him the answer. So I asked him a question back that, why do you teach Kalari? Tell me, what is your aim to teaching Kalari to us? You have been teaching for a long time. So he told me that in the world, in the universe, 70% of universe is water. And but you won't be able to drink that. Most water is sea water, salt water, so you won't be, but you have water, but people still is suffering for drinking water. So by doing Kalari, you can make that water into drinking water. That was his answer. As a child, that time I never understood what does that mean. I said, okay. But then now I understand that in our body, it's 70% of our body is content of water, and almost like by practicing kind of Kalari or any kind of martial art, maybe, you can really reform your body into a kind of, this water can, rotate into a drinking water. So how gravity work? Gravity in Malayalam, we say, maybe in Sanskrit also, I think Gurutvam. We say Gurutvam. So Gurutvam we also have a word called Gurutvam, means attachment towards your teacher. So we always in Kalari say that he needs Gurutvam. Otherwise, whatever he learn, no use if he don't have Gurutvam. But in Kalari, it's all about gravity. When you practice, it's about how you work on gravity and how you work on anti-gravity. When I was talking with Jahan just before starting, he was telling me about the jumping idea. So it was actually, we tried to live in unbalance. Like when you jump, you have no balance anymore. Like, you are not balanced. Even when you walk, if you are still, you are balanced. If you do nothing, maybe in other way, you are balanced. But when you start to think about doing something, you are unbalanced actually. You have no balance. Then you play between balance and unbalance. And that is the point of creativity, I think. So I love to play. I think the most chaosmos make you creative. You can see all over the world, the best creations happened when we are in unbalanced. We are in chaosmos. We don't know what to do next. There is a moment that I don't know what to do next. I have planned everything. I rehearsed everything, but when I do my show, sometime, not always, but sometime there is some moment comes that I don't know what to do next. And that moment is theater for me. That is theater for me. That moment make me happy, make me give me anandam, basically, to sustain in theater. Thank you. So yeah, let me, yeah, one second. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So can we talk or ask a
Yeah.
question?
So are you getting some delay? It's
I
okay.
was getting a feedback. Now talk again?
Yeah.
Still a little bit. Uh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
probably
So
it's probably because Prabhath has got
A
two.
second device on, yeah. But your second device is near you, the one that was taking
now
us
it's
on.
okay. I switched off.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Thanks for that, Mo. So, Prabhat, I don't know. I always struggle about where exactly to unpack it, and that's why I've asked Umgeni and Amy to also be here. They've already put a few comments in the room. Umgeni is talking about. I even resonated with that idea. The idea of from seed to seed as a farming practice.
Yeah.
But I wonder how you think about that when you think about. I've always looked at everything that you have learned in your life as seeds being planted in you,
Yeah.
and then they are generating. They are, you have some seeds that are cucumbers, you have some seeds that are teak wood, oak trees, but one can see them growing. And I'm just wondering what your thought is of this sort of cyclical, rotational nature of it. That is one question. I don't have a thing. And the second one was, Amy also said this lovely thing about the practice and care of cultivation of culture. So the word culture comes from protecting, caring, kalas. It means to till, as in the ground. So culture and farming are the same thing in some ways. Um, and that's a really lovely observation, Amy. So I think that one question was just around this whole idea of seed to seed. The second thing is how you feel farm, because you also said throughout this pandemic we have been doing performance here, but is performance farming, is performance theater, is performance the community, is performance all of it? Then in what ways do the same philosophies resonate across what I look at differently? I look at farming, I look at community building, I look at theater, three different things, but for you they're much more one thing, a united thing. So I'm just wondering about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, maybe I'll come to the seed to seed idea. Seed to seed is like impractical. Now there are big companies, big corporate companies started making seeds called F1 seeds. Let me tell you that. And then maybe in Japan, I don't know much more about other places in the world, but in Japan, there are some seeds you can no more make by yourself. You can no more sell. You can no more exchange. They have patent already. So all local seeds are dying slowly. And there are F1 seeds coming. And F1 seeds are like that. You have good qualities, like good shape, good taste, good color, good everything good, everything balanced. But you cannot reproduce from that. You have to buy from the company again. So there's a big fight happening between farmers and these companies now. There are big, huge negotiations happening. So we thought that as a small farmer, I don't sell to anyone, but then we share with people. No, money is not involved here. So we thought that we make a seed from the seed what we got. Like we have some seeders like who is not selling, but who give you free. So you get it, and then that's a practical idea of it. But in another way, it's like seed is something which is the energy that is hidden inside. So something, the energy hidden inside, and then slowly, by the help of the nature, by the help of the climate, by the help of everything or everyone, like even Like I can tell you the earthworm, I can, everything, it's slowly open up. It slowly open up and it become a tree, but it's still, going back to that seed. It's still, so that idea of is always there in my practice. So I do believe, as I told you, that the entire body as an universe. So we all are seeds, they're just seeds. And then when I was learning Xiami, no theater from Japan, for my PhD. So Xiami always talk about this seed. Xiami, all examples of character type is from the seed. Like you put one seed, the same seed in a rock, in a desert, in a very fertilized place. So all seed come. So some seed fight to, because fertilized place, it's very easy for the seeds to come up because all help they are getting. So they come, they become very beautiful and very nice and like, looking, kind of heroes, kind of king when they, old time, all heroes are king. Farmers are not king heroes in that time. But then someone in rock, wait for the rain to come. Still, if there is no rain, it cannot come. So for years it stayed. So and then slowly, one day it come, and then even if it come, like desert, it has to fight a lot with the circumstances of living, and then come. So there's this characterization, not hero or anti-hero, not good or bad. The characterizations are based on the living circumstances. The seed is same. Seed is not different. You and me is same. The energy in you and me, everyone is same. It's not different. The difference is only that where we live, where we born, or where we, living, or how we. So that's why we are trying to shift again and again from not only from India to Japan, but in India, we shifted different place. Like we lived in Bombay, we lived in village, we lived in Gurgaon, we lived in Dwaraka, and go to Pondicherry. Everywhere, things are different. So when you say I'm an Indian here, people think all Indians are same. Not at all. Even in Mumbai, when I come, you know that I used to go to the slum and stay with people to see this characterization, to see how the seed is blooming.
In different places and different circumstances.
That helped me to create theater. So for me in theater, it's not that good and bad. It's not the fight between a good and bad. It's called, everyone want to live. Everyone want to, live till we die. So
I have a question here from Amy. Amy, do you want to take this or elaborate?
Sure. Prabhath, I was just wondering, actually, to start with a question. Is Kalaripayattu related to any form of worship? I'm just curious, is it a kind of reverential
worship?
Worship, yeah. Is it originally a practice of worship in any form?
Yeah, there is worship, but you see, Kalaripayattu, we start completely physically fighting form, martial art. So I learned Kalaripayattu when I was a child. I want to fight with my friends and become a hero. That was my aim, I can tell you. And I never thought about flexibility. I never know about this, kind of mind-body relationship and all at that time, because I started learning when I was 7 years old. So for me, it was completely to make my muscles and then fight and but then it slowly changed. And then because you are teacher, when you get into the practice, slowly, you understand that they also do some other thing. Then you inquire that what is that. So one day my teacher told me that, so I asked him that what I it's very painful when you do Kalaripayattu. It's like very difficult. So sometimes we used to cry. We say that it's enough. I don't want to do anymore. But then he said, no, little more. Like you stay there. Be, you understand the gravity. Look straight. So he always say that where you look, you reach there. Never talk about mind, but he say, where is your look, you reach there. And soft touch to the ground, but grab the ground and feel that tree's root going down to the ground, like, but it's flexible, it's like elastic, but so that you can move. But even when you move, there is this root, so this all teaching. And then after teaching, like I asked him that it's really painful, so he said like, yeah, but through this, the pain, one day you will understand others' pain. That. So then that was a good teaching for me. Like I never thought about others' pain when I fight with. I was a fighter. When I fight with people, I never thought about how the other person, feel. So then I stopped fighting. So no more, no more that comeback thing. Then one day he told me that you practice, and then hard practice. And this practice is for sit silently for 1 second. So if you practice 1 hour, there will be one moment that you become blackout. You don't know what is happening in this world. There is one moment that you get a shock, you get an electric shock. You cannot recollect it. And yeah, that's where I found that there is some spiritual practice behind this. But there is no religion, there is no caste. Now there are religion, there are caste coming up and they're grabbing. But I can tell you that if you see the history of Kalaripayattu, all religious people, all people in religion, all people in caste and all did that. So if you watch Wikipedia, they gave you very wrong information, because it starts from a Hindu culture practice. It's not Hindu culture practice, I can tell you. And our worship is basically towards our Guru. Guru means gravity, basically. And then, so not towards God. As Kabir said, like, if God and Guru come together, whom I salute first is my teacher, not the God. Because he showed me the God. So that's the relationship, basically. That's the worship. So our worship is to understand I don't I don't like to call God, because it can misunderstand. So I love to call like the energy, the flow of energy in our body, in everyone's body, in all nature. So when it gets winter, how the nature of the body change. When it gets summer, how when it gets spring, how the body change. So it's same. no difference. We think we are different, but we are not different at all. We are part of this nature, so we can't escape. Even if we think that we are different, but we are not at all different. Like I have been learning from, like, we have chicken farm. So I have seen this chicken, how they take care of the children, how they make the relationship between each other, how they make the relationship between us is totally different. they know they know each and every one. We think that our brain is, we are so brilliant, and then they are like kind of our slaves. It's not like that at all. They really feel like, when I go there, you can see they all come to me, and maybe they they think we are same. When you stand in, when you are with their kind of level. So when you sit and you give an eye contact, when you look from here, it's a bit difficult. So our stage is always same with audience. It's not this or it's not this. We are in here. So we don't perform like this. We don't perform like this. So we love to perform. So and then there are natural, energy flow of the earth. Like you have hill, you have river, you have the shape, and then what make shape is energy. What we call ki, basically. The energy. In India, we call Vayu. Yeah. I think I answered. Sorry, I talked a lot.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. I love that your worship is the flow of energy in your body and in everybody. That's
Yeah.
very profound.
I want to take Amy. Amy had a second bit of the question, which actually connects to the fact that you could have named your farm anything, and you named it Chance Meeting Anandam. And I told everyone about what chance meeting meant at the beginning, yen. But I have a question for you. Is chance just chance? Or is it something that you actually, as Amy said, it sounds like your practice is a worship of trying to understand chance better. Like, is chance simply chance, and it is just that I was born to this mother, you met me there, something happened here, is it all chance? Or is your practice actually a desire to understand chance itself better, to understand chaos itself better? Are we trying to understand chaos or chance?
God, I am going through chaos always. I love chaos.
But is chaos just chaos? It is there.
Jahan, that chance, and maybe in English literature, not that chance at all. It's not that chance at all. I can tell you, it's just it's a chaos. It's the meet of two energies. It's two different energies meeting, and it's not very easy at all. It's most like yin and yang, like the bulb, like the it make fire, it can make bomb, it can make anything, it can change the form in different way. So, but only thing is that my teacher always tell me sometime, like red light. So when I said I stopped fighting, and one day my teacher told me that you don't need to fight, because if you don't go to the red light, the traffic is blocked there. So if there is a fight nearby you never go there. You go back. So that can work out. Like for us, I can tell you that we don't have money at all. We have some money. I'm not single. We have some money, but then we are not feeling unsecure at all. Like when I was a professor, I had monthly salary, but still Second, I am thinking about what to do next. Tomorrow I have to pay the bill of this, I have to pay this, I have to do this, you know. Scott?
If there's anybody who would like to say anything or come off mic, have a chat with Prabhath, we're here. We have another 20 minutes of sort of a back and forth conversation. And then at 1:15, there's a hard stop, at which point, oh God, is Prabhath still there? He's frozen. Prabhath, are you there?
He appears frozen.
He has frozen.
Oh.
And,
Just a moment.
he'll
Just a
be
moment.
back. Prabhath, there you are. So do sort of come up and share and have a conversation. Prabhath is equally here to be provoked by you, as he has given us interesting thoughts to be provoked by. Yes, Amy, I will. Yeah, 1:15 we will do a hard stop, and then we will go to basically what is an after party, which is the unmoderated section. But since this is interesting, if you don't mind, I'm going to just keep going. Yes, Amy.
I wanted to say, I put it in the chat, but so the chance is two different energies meeting, chaos is multiple energies meeting. But Sheshti, Franz and Webb is in the room, and one of the best shows I saw in a decade was created by Sheshti and her company with her 3-year-old absolutely creating chaos in the rehearsal studio. Nobody could ever focus for more than 5 minutes at a time. It was absolute chaos. And it was a completely amazing show. And I just really wonder about this embracing of the chance, as you're talking about, Prabhath, the sort of chance energy, that when you actually start to embrace it and live it, there's something really amazing and brilliant that occurs that you could never have planned, you couldn't have practiced for it. It's just sort of like happening. And it's the gift that you didn't expect. I mean, I'm just wondering about that. Sheshti is here. So I just remember your account of that, Sheshti, and that seems to be that was like a chaos-based show.
I'm going to add to that, if I might, please, Amy, and Prabhath, because I guess, as you probably know about me at this point, I get obsessed with kind of metaphoric concepts. So the seed to seed is something that's kind of sitting with me, and I'm trying to make sense of it in relation to chaos. And it struck me that certainly I've heard my father use the term, I've heard lots of people use the phrase going to seed, right? When you let your plants go to seed, there's this perception that they've gone beyond the point at which they are useful, and they have exceeded, the usefulness that they serve us, and they will be, they'll put down seed and then new plants will grow. So in some ways, going to seed is about escaping our technologies of capture, our agrarian methods to contain, to delineate. But something really beautiful, I think, is what you're suggesting, Amy, is that allowing things to go to seed, allowing things to move beyond our impulse to control is an indication of a move towards something more chaotic than what we imagined when we planted in the first place. But that's how things regenerate as well, is that it has to go through that kind of chaotic process of allowing things to return to seed in order for something new to grow. So I don't know what to make of that in terms of theatre and performance practice, other than suggesting perhaps, as you were, Amy, related to Shesti's work, is that, yeah, this chaotic moment is the moment where we step beyond the kind of agricultural framework, the kind of gardener's impulse to control, to contain, to make beautiful, and seeing what happens when things escape our capacity to hold on to with that kind of death grip. It's interesting I chose death grip there as well, right?
Thank you.
Do I raise my hand? Can I just say something? Yes.
Go ahead.
Wonderful. This is so interesting and funny, that chaos and everything, because as this 3-year-old Amy's talking about has now grown into a teenager and decided to fundraise to do a school trip at the end of the year, and they're away and I have to sort their coffee all over the place while I'm listening to you guys. So the chaos continues for me. And I just finished teaching site-specific theater with some very organized, structured Swedes that I've spent a year trying to chaotify their minds so that they could improvise and find the theater somewhere in there. And so I'm absolutely, I just had a conversation doing an scrambling of the mind exercise to open for improvisation last week. And I was like, did you feel the space that happened when it was so chaotic that you couldn't think anymore? Did you feel the peace that was there? And they finally were like, oh, okay, yeah, there is the place where something that we don't know can come from, because our minds are so busy trying to create structures and hold down the thing. And I think this whole farming mixing with the process of nature and the seed to seed, all of these things make so much sense to me. Of course, the chaos of life and nature fits perfectly with theater. I'm excited to know more about the theater that comes out of this place for you over there. It's very inspiring.
Thank you so much.
That's
Thank you. Yeah, in fact, can I say something? Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, you see, what, like in performance of, like I have been going through this traditional performance practices like Kuriyattam, like no theater. There's two Asian, maybe so-called old traditional so-called form theaters, like, you know. So like, for example, one Kuriyattam, when I was learning, you maybe you have to do only this for 15 days. There is no other work. Like, and you go down and do this, and then you learn how to do, you know, mudras, and then you learn how to, you know, move your eyes. You know, it's like, you know, very structured. Like you cannot, you have no space to improvise. You know, they don't give you any space. But when your master performing, he completely improvises. You're like, why do I learn this? I don't know. He's not doing any of this thing. Okay, you know. So I was a bit confused. Because it's painful, and it's also like killing your, you know, best time of your life learning only these structures or form as, you know, language. So you know, also, like when I came to learn from Kansei Hideo sensei, who was worked with Grotowski. So like that time I have just learned, no idea about, I saw only one performance, and I didn't understand what is it. But I was a bit inspired with Xiami and his ideas and Zen Buddhism. So I said, I read this book, and then I came here. So he said, okay, you sit. And then it was 45 minutes you have to sit in Vajrasana. Vajrasana means like you bend your leg and sit there, like without moving. So after some time, like I got really pain, then I moved. Then my co-practitioner, who is my senior, he said, your class is over. So what? If you move, that's over. Like, come next day, and then 45 minutes, if you can sit without moving, then you get a script in your hand, because that script is 45 minutes you have to chant. So the first they teach you how don't move, and then you get the script, then you chant. Once you learn that script, then they teach you how to move it with the script on stage, and then you go to performance. That's the process. But when I saw same teacher performing, he don't do any of this thing. He completely improvised. So, then I asked myself this question, that why this is happening. So improvisation in Asian traditional forms are like you go through this structured, balanced, practice, and then you face the chaos. Then you play in balance. So that's the idea of this form. So my Kudiyattam teacher, in fact, told me that, like, this is just a language. I'm not teaching you Kudiyattam. Kudiyattam is just a language to communicate between you and me. That's it. But I don't teach you Kudiyattam. I teach you beyond Kudiyattam. That's something different. So I don't teach you Kudiyattam, but I know only one language to teach you this, that is Kudiyattam. That's why I use Kudiyattam. So, different people, like as Jahan told me, planted seed in me in different way. But when it bloomed, I feel like now, like we collaborate with musicians and all. Like we just go. We don't even talk what we are going to do. So we just go to the space, and then with audience we just improvise. So-called improvisation. We don't know what we are going to do. We don't know anything, like but then it just happened there, and then we enjoy that what is happening. So there is no worry about we fail or not. Even if we fail, that's going to be a gain, I think, because when I put rice last year, I didn't got that much rice back. But it's also a learning, because it depends on climate, it depends on sun. So it's not only me who can win the show, I think. That makes sense. Sorry. Jahan, tell me.
No, it does. It completely does. I find myself, after Amy and Veni's provocations and listening to you, I wonder why, if chaos and flow and the natural energies seems to be they're almost the most natural and native qualities of our existence.
Yeah.
And why is it that we have the Swedish and the Scandinavians who want to do things with such order? Why is order and then control and power, like, what is this relationship, this need for order and definition?
It's only
that
the
then
rule.
makes. So I did say power because of that. Yeah, absolutely. But and also deliberately makes us afraid of chaos, afraid of going with the flow, afraid of improvisation.
You have been educated in schools to.
But then Prabhath, I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to argue, because then if you look at a form like Kudiyattam, where everything is so defined, so much order, you can argue that it's only to rule. It's only for the guru to rule the student or something.
No. Kudiyattam has a point that you reach into chaos. They put you into chaos.
So you can only arrive at chaos once you have first done order.
Yeah. You have trained to face chaos.
In the most ordered way possible. That's what it is.
Way that they know.
Yeah,
because their form that they'll taught. Because I can tell you that the way I learned Kalari and the way I teach Kalari is completely different. I learned from a very traditional teacher who was a freedom fighter, who made Kalari to fight against British. I have no fight against British. I'm not at all. Like, I do Kalari to, in a different way. So my teaching may be not completely different. Not completely different. It that's why this traditional form like you see what Venuji now teach Kudiyatam is completely different. You have all chaos in it. You have all freedom in it. But he also show you how he learned. It's just to share with you how he learned this language of art.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
same way, like theater also, like when we were before starting drama school Mumbai, like theater professionals, how we, trained people were different. That I know, and how you demanded also different that time.
Yeah, I'm still trying to bloom. Kat has put her hand up. I wanted to see if she can come in with a question. Kat? Good
That
morning.
was a finger point up to emphasize what Done was saying, because I agreed that the association between chaos and improvisation was something to be unpacked and questioned. Mm-hmm.
As Kat, also good to see you. Yeah, so I guess Kat was responding to what I put just above, which is there is also the sense that we tend to, I think, approach improvisation as as disorderly. But my sense is it requires perhaps an even more heightened sense of order in order to allow us to kind of play crazily within that structure. So I'm interested in this tension between improv as disorderly and improv as structured in a way that allows for safe experiences of disequilibrium and disorder within the structure that is set up within improv. Maybe safe is the wrong word, but
I was just wondering, does safety still have a place in all of this? But
I can't
anyway,
find
it's just something
top of my head right now, but you understand what I'm saying, right? The sense of perhaps what makes improvisation, the disorderly, the chaotic, feel a little less disturbing, a little less confronting, I think, of our sensibilities, is knowing that there's a structure that can hold the chaotic impulses within the improv, right? So maybe it is about a sense of safety or a sense of, I know that if things move to a particular point, I can always default back to it's improv. It's a space we've cleared to engage in this practice safely. There's the word again, and that perhaps the stakes are different.
Well, it's interesting because earlier on, I was wondering about how the world seems to seek order and seek control and seek all of that. So much so that in living in it, I've been made to fear chaos. I've been made to fear uncertainty. And I was just thinking about the fact that this conversation around safety is, I've been told that on the other side of this divide lies danger. Chaos is danger. Chaos is threatening. Chaos is quietly, chaos is doing its thing. Order is othering chaos. And therefore us on the side of order are saying, but safe. And chaos is, I am not safe, I am not unsafe, I am just chaos. I'm going to definitely try and unpack this in my next conversation. But on that note, Prabhath, we are coming up to the 45 mark. I want to say thank you so much for giving us these provocations. I love the onions hanging in your kitchen, and I love the fact that your kitchen looks like a beautiful set. And now the conversation is open and unmoderated. Really, it's been wonderful that you came and you joined and you shared your experiences, Prabhath. Thank you from all of us. And continue to join these conversations, everybody. They happen every 2 weeks.